My name is Jessie Nyaga, and I'm a public defender. I've recently had to advocate for myself after being charged with indecent exposure in my own hometown. It's not what you think. It was an emergency, and I tried my best to stay hidden. But wouldn't you know it, the exact patch of shoulder that I happened to pull over to from the highway backed up to the yard of an off-duty sheriff. This sheriff decided that it was his public duty at that moment to harangue the person crouching behind their car who was trying to take a dump without being seen by the passing 5 o'clock traffic. It was embarrassing enough to look up and see someone yelling at me from afar as I squatted to relieve myself of explosive diarrhea. It was equally embarrassing when, a week later, I was presented with a video clip of myself, pulled from Sheriff Petto's home security cameras, now being shown at the police station where I had been brought in. The incriminating footage showed my backside and a partial of my license plate, which is how they tracked me down. I say, tracked me down, because as soon as I saw the red-faced, barrel-chested man charging towards me from his back porch, I pulled up my pants and hightailed it out of there. I barely had time to wipe myself with the fast food napkins I had in hand before jumping back into my car and merging into traffic. As I sat in the precinct facing the television monitor that was freeze-framed on me in my embarrassing pose, I mustered to find words to explain the emergency of the situation. The emergency, which was my chronic stomach issues, had been plaguing my home and work life for so long that I knew it was only a matter of time before something like this would happen. I had 2 near misses and an incident on the way home 2 weeks prior. The chronic diarrhea was bad enough for me to apply for short-term disability benefits, but I didn't like the idea of taking off work. I thought I could manage it, but evidently, I wasn't doing a good job of it. I hoped my position in the judicial system might possibly allow me to request a lenient punishment, but apparently the sheriff and the judge were good friends. I ended up paying the maximum fine for a public defecation and failure to dispose of excrement and got a mark on my license. I was put on a 2-week suspension with pay from work and a mandate to see a doctor. When I told my boss that I had already seen several doctors, they suggested I see another one. My gastroenterologist ordered me more tests. While I waited for the results to return, I went online looking for my own solution. I came across a stomach aid by the name of Poop Stop. The name was ridiculous, but when I clicked through for more information, I found myself on a serious-looking website of a nanotechnology company. I read through the site thoroughly and decided it was a legit business. It seemed that all of the elixirs, creams, sprays and serums were infused with some kind of nanobot technology that cured a person on a molecular level. I was still skeptical but purchased an order, paying extra for an overnight delivery. I was hoping that it was the panacea I was seeking. When the package arrived, I opened it up and read the label only briefly before drinking the contents of the bottle. I felt an effervescent sensation in my stomach after swallowing the liquid. Whether it was a placebo effect or real science, something happened. The rest of the day was thankfully uneventful. I had 1 bathroom visit by the time I went to bed, and it was normal. I took another dose the next day, and as promised, my stomach behaved. The earth-shaking urge to go had been missing in action for a week before I decided that I was cured. As an attorney, I hesitate to use words like cure or guarantee for the sake of liability, but I became a believer in a short amount of time. I returned to work, eager to catch up to my cases. It was nice not having to rely on my colleagues to take over in the event that I had to excuse myself. It's not a good look walking out in the middle of litigation concerning a child delinquency case or child support contempt hearings. Other than an occasionally cooling effervescent sensation that I felt in my lower gut, I didn't experience any side effects from taking no more poop. One night, however, I nearly jumped out of my skin after noticing something strange in the commode after I finished using it. I happened to catch a glimpse of the swirling contents and noticed that I wasn't seeing brown. The shape and size was as expected, but instead of the russet-colored stools I was accustomed to seeing, I saw perfectly shaped silver-tinged cigars of poo swimming away. It happened so quickly that I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. The overhead light from the bathroom must have caught one of the swirls in the whirlpool of water, causing me to think that I saw silver, I thought. From that day on, I continued to check the contents of the commode before flushing, and sure enough, each time I looked, there was a barely perceptible silver cast covering my BMs. I considered getting the gastro doctor to run a stool sample test to figure out what was going on with this new color, but honestly, I didn't want to volunteer myself to more labs and tests that didn't seem to help. The poop stop worked. That's all I needed to know. Today I drank the last bottle in the box of 8. I wonder what color I would see in the toilet tomorrow.